someone brought a recording of her grandfather, who I think
Yeah.
knew Blake.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Yep.
wow, how can you not turn for
You got
that?
my vote. You got my vote.
What's up, guys? Benny Adams here with Hollywood Junket, and we are talking all about the season premiere of The Voice. We're talking all about the coaches. We got some returning coaches and we got some brand new coaches. I'm here with Malik. We're going to break it all down for you. Malik, how are you doing today?
Benny, I'm doing great. Can't complain. It's a new season.
Yeah, what did you think about this premiere overall?
To see like that first day competitiveness, from the coaches. I think it's gonna be a great season with the new faces and all that. It's gonna be a great season. I'm excited.
Yeah. I want to talk all about the coaches. We got some returning coaches. We have some brand new faces. We have Blake Shelton. He is the OG, the goat of The Voice. You know, the person of wisdom of this show. He's back. We have Kelly Clarkson, who took a break from last season. She's back. I love her. We also have some two new faces. We have Niall Horan, as many of you know, from One Direction, and we got the one and only Chance the Rapper. They are brand new on this season. I'm very curious to see how they're going to do as the season progresses. What do you think about these two new faces, Malik?
I know we were talking a little behind the scenes about Niall. I know a lot of his winning points to get people over was see the crowd in here. They're for me, like I've helped boost the ratings. And so Niall is definitely one of those who the people know, the people love. And so I'm excited to see how he goes about his whole thing. I know that he was struggling a little bit to get people to, join his team, but I think later in episode 1 of season 23, he won a couple of, big time people, to get on his team. So I think he's going to win people over with his charm. He's going to win people over with his fan base, and people love One Direction. So
Oh yeah.
I think it's going to be a good season for him.
Yeah, definitely. And we were talking earlier, and I love that you mentioned this. You know, it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic between Niall and Blake Shelton, because it seems
Mhm.
like Blake is going to have like this fatherly figure on him.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that as well. I love that as well. The head butting, it makes for great entertainment. It makes for great TV.
Mhm. Yeah, so let's first talk about Blake's first pick. It was a country artist, which no surprise there, but it's interesting because Niall, he also said that he wants to get a country artist, but Blake's first pick was an artist named Neil Salsage, and it was so interesting because this person was amazing. All the judges turned for this person. Um, do you think this was the right pick for Blake?
I think so. And I'm gonna get a little personal here. I actually know Neil. Um,
Oh,
yeah. So not too personally, but so I co-host a show here in St. Louis, and Neil is from St. Louis, has came on the show a couple of times. And his big thing is that he's not a country singer. And so for
mhm.
him to choose Blake, it was kind of like a curveball. He likes to consider himself as a jazz, R&B, blues type of guy who can tell a story from any type of narrative. And so, honestly, I could have seen him with Niall, but I think with Blake and his expertise, especially in this Midwestern, I think Blake is from Oklahoma, so I think Blake can truly boost his career to where he's trying to go.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know
Yeah.
you knew him. That's really cool, man. That's so well. I'm definitely, since you know him, I'm definitely rooting for him.
Yeah, hey, St. Louis in the house.
Right? Exactly. Good for you. So let's talk about Chance. Chance, it seems like he's been doing this show forever, but he's like brand new. His first artist was a sister trio who goes by the name of Sorella. He beat Blake out to it. What did you think about this combo?
Chance is a very creative person, so I think he can take them from where they are and elevate them to another level of stardom that maybe they didn't even know they had. So that's what I see in Chance, just a creative who can rub that off on other talented people.
Yeah, and the guy is so brilliant. He's
Oh
so
yeah.
brilliant in all of his music that he puts out. So it's gonna be so interesting how he molds these people into like even better artists using his mind. Like I cannot wait to see that. It's gonna be
Yes.
very interesting.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I also want to talk about there's a little change this season, and it's the members. So last season they were able to have 14 members on their team. This
Mm.
season it's 10 members. So the coaches are being very picky on this. Do you think this is gonna cause some tension, cause some clashes because they don't have the capacity that they had last season?
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, it's I played sports back in the day, and if it's a 52-man roster, you want to be that 52 who gets on that team. But with that, there's a million other people who want to be on this team. So I feel like it's going to be a lot harder to get the coaches to push that button and spin around. It's going to be a lot more blocks, from the coaches, which we saw a lot of in episode 1. And Chance again, who would have thought that you could put your name on everything. I mean, he was throwing Blake and Kelly off. They were like, how'd you even do that? So it
Mhm.
just shows the competitiveness, and
Yeah.
it's A game or go home.
Chance is definitely bringing his A game. I'm gonna
Yeah.
jump right to it right now, and I'm just gonna say it right now. I think Chance is gonna win. I think whoever is on Chance's team, like they're gonna win. They're gonna
Yeah.
win.
He has a
Yeah.
chip on his shoulder, And
Hmm.
and I have to say the same for Niall. Niall, he started off slow. He has a chip on his shoulder as well. Two newbies, and it's gonna be a nail biter for sure.
I want to talk about gifts. So a lot of people brought gifts for Blake Shelton, a lot of the
Oh yeah.
singers. What's interesting is he did not turn for any of them. So it brings me to the question, is it worth it? Is it worth to bring a gift, or is it just going too far? Are they looking like they're sucking up, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And going back to sports, I relate a lot to sports and stuff, and so they always say, in the NFL, if you are the player who is on the next season's Madden cover, Madden 18, 21, whatever, you
Hmm.
usually get hurt, and so they call it the Madden curse. I think
Hmm.
in this element, it is the Blake Shelton curse, the Blake Shelton gift curse. If you bring in a gift, you're gonna lose,
Right.
And one of those contestants, I felt really bad because she's actually from the same town, same city, grew up. Her family, grew up around Blake when he was younger. She even played the song for him. Just don't bring a gift. Just
Yeah.
leave it. Let the chips fall where they fall.
Yeah, just be a good singer. But I will say some of these gifts were like they were pretty like there was one gift where someone brought a recording of her grandfather who I think
Yeah.
knew. Like
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
wow, how can you not turn for
You got
that?
my vote. You got my vote.
It was so interesting. Someone brought a signed T-shirt. Someone brought I think it was a picture
Yep.
of them when she opened for Blake. So these were like well thought out gifts, and he did not turn for any of them. So it definitely it brings the question. So I also want to talk about this one artist, Star Martin. So Gwen Stefani, who was a coach, who's not a coach this season. It brings me to the question because Star Martin, I thought she was pretty good. None of the coaches turned for her, and the song that she sang was "No Woman, No Cry." Do you think that Gwen Stefani would have turned for her if Gwen Stefani was coaching this season?
I think she would have. So to Star Martin, I think she had an amazing voice. I think she has potential to be really great.
Hmm.
I just don't think that song of choice was what you needed to get a coach to turn around for you.
Right.
Gwen Stefani, I believe, would have turned around simply for, you have that she had a rich her voice was rich in her authenticity. It was rich in, where she's from. And so I think Gwen would have turned around for that Caribbean, style music and transformed her into, again, an all around, because that's what they're trying to do here, turn you into an all around star so you're not one dimensional.
Right.
So Gwen Stefani, I think she would have, turned just for the simple fact of we were late, you know.
Right, right. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I see that. I see that.
yeah.
So well, let's talk a little bit about Niall, one of the new coaches this season. It seemed like he was having a slow start, which was kind of surprising because, this show is geared towards the younger demographic. Niall, he is younger than the rest of the coaches, but he only had one person. Why do you think that is? Like for me, I kind of have a gist of it. You know, Kelly, Blake, they all have a couple of years under them. They've been in this industry for a while, and maybe artists just, they see that and they know that, they might have more experience than Niall. Like, do you think that was the case, or what was your opinion about that?
A lot, and with him being younger, a lot of people are probably looking at that as like, this is the next step in my career. Do I want someone who's seasoned, who's been doing this for, decades, or, take a chance with this new guy? And so I think the ones who took a chance with him
Mhm.
truly see something in him. I mean, he has some really good selling points in there.
And speaking of, people taking a chance, one of those people that took a chance on Niall was Ross Clayton.
Mhm.
And Niall actually was able to get him instead of Blake, who wanted him also. For Niall, he was able to have this power where he could turn all the chairs around, which I thought was amazing. I thought it was hilarious. What did you think about that?
I thought it was strategic planning. I think it's something cool that, the producers let them do. And he wasn't the only one with, a trick in his bag, a trick in his hat. Chance, as I mentioned, he was able to step on every name and change it to, Chance's name, which I thought, was, something cute and fun, and it just shows just, how much, more, that Chance really wanted to be chosen. So I
Right.
thought that was really cool.
And it's really cool because both of these new powers that they had, when they used these, the contestants went with them. So Ross Clayton, when Niall turned all the chairs around, Ross Clayton went with them. So it worked. It worked out.
It works.
Blake even said that he can see Niall taking over his spot on The Voice, which was huge, which was huge. And so I think that gave Niall a bump of confidence, that, hey, I can actually win this thing.
Exactly. But I think
Mhm.
Blake, like you said, has more of an appreciation for now than now might think or whatever.
All right, so that was the first episode. Now we're going on to the second episode, where this episode kind of made history for The Voice. So we're introduced to Zhuzh again, and now Zhuzh is in this group called Share Element. And this is the first time that a former contestant has come back to compete. So Zhuzh was with Kelly Clarkson's team. And so now Zhuzh is with this whole new group. They sound amazing. Kelly Clarkson, Blake Shelton, and Niall, they all turned. And obviously, they went to Kelly because of their past history with Kelly. What did you think about this group and going to Kelly? Do you think they have a chance?
If it's not broke, don't fix it. Kelly helped you out the last time. I promise I can help you out this time.
I agree. I agree. Second time's a charm. Second time's a charm. Chance is taking some risks, which I really like. He was the only person to turn for this artist called Magnus,
Mhm.
who has a background singing in gospel. I thought it was amazing. Only 25 years old. What did you think about that performance?
I think it was amazing. And, going to, Chance taking risks. Um, I think Chance is playing this season smart, and this is part of the reason why I think one, he will come out as a winner because he's choosing people who he thinks he can collab with and truly build with beyond the season. But Chance is a creative guy, and so for him to choose this kid Magnus has this choir background. I think it'll be a match made in heaven. The style of music that Chance makes, I think will only boost this kid's career.
Chance sees something in Magnus that no one else sees, and I can't wait to see what that is. I can't wait for Chance to bring that out. I think that's going to be amazing. I think that's going to be like mind blowing. It seemed like there was some tension between Kelly Clarkson and Niall after he blocked a singer, Kayla, from her. And it was all good and fun. Like she wasn't, fuming at the head, but you could tell she
Where's my lawyer?
Exactly. And she even said, mark my word, I'm gonna steal you back. I'm gonna steal. Do you think Kelly is gonna steal this person back?
We'll just have to wait and see, We'll just have to wait and see. I think it could be possible, but we'll have to wait and see, man. Who knows?
Right. And then we have to talk about the highlight of this show when Jimmy Fallon came out to audition. That was epic. That was so epic. That was so amazing. And he really didn't sound that bad.
I was gonna say he had me fooled until he got to the end and was talking about, how, Michael, who created the song, he's probably not really saying much. You just have to mumble and then say the chorus a little bit. But overall, I'm like, Jimmy might have a career in harmonizing. I wouldn't say singing, but
yeah,
harmonizing,
he could hold a note. The guy can hold a note. Do you think? Because I was a little confused with this, and maybe I just missed it. Did they know that was him? Like I know at first they didn't, but like once they heard him, could they like tell it was him? Because I couldn't tell it was him. Okay.
I think so. And again, you never. I mean, at the end of it, they mentioned, them saying, yeah, we knew it was you, Jimmy, and Blake didn't turn around because he was like, I already knew it was you, and you don't deserve a turn. How serious was that? Were they being for real, or was that TV lies? You never.
Yeah,
know.
exactly. It
So,
was epic though. I loved it. I loved it so much. For those of you watching in the comments, what did you think about Jimmy's performance? What did you think about these premiere episodes overall? Like, what do you think about these new coaches, Chance the Rapper and Niall? What do you think about the returning coaches? Let us know in the comments. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I'm Benny Adams. You can find me on all social media at Benny J Adams. I'm going to let you know where you can find them.
Yeah, Malik Wilson TV on Instagram, Malik Wilson _ on Twitter, Malik Wilson on everything else. And yeah, if you're ever in the St. Louis area, stop by. Love to talk with you.
Also, make sure you guys subscribe to Hollywood Junket so you can see more content like this. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Take care.